Government Network or GovNet was officially launched at the National ICT Summit in Quezon City. It aims to interconnect government agencies via fiber optic cables, data centers, and other shared ICT resources. With an integrated government system, agencies can communicate with each other faster, share data, and deliver services to the public quicker.
For the longest time has been na nakasilo sila eh. They don't talk to each other. We've been laying down the foundations, shared services. There are a lot of agencies already onboarding.
Casambre adds soon it will be easier to apply for a business permit, driver's license, and other government documents. Once systems are interconnected, applicants no longer need to go to different government agencies nor physically apply for government licenses. But as the Philippines beefs up internet connectivity in government offices, Singapore has recently announced it will ban internet in work computers at government buildings to guard against cyber attacks. For Ashish Lal of the Lee Kuan Yew School of Public Policy in Singapore, it is equally important to also guard any e-government system against malware and hacking, and for the system to be integrated with other projects.
All countries should aspire to use the benefits that technology offers. We should not forget that we still need to make investments in things which we may consider old things, such as roads and ports.
DOST assures the public securing the government internet system is a priority. For now, over 100 government agencies in Metro Manila and Metro Cebu are connected, and regional networks are being developed. The department is also implementing the free Wi-Fi service nationwide, hoping to cover 93% of the country by year-end. With a budget of 3.2 billion pesos for next year, that's more than half the whole budget of the new Department of Information and Communications Technology. The Philippine government has slowly been shifting to the digital sphere to further improve its services. But analysts say beefing up cybersecurity measures and upgrading internet infrastructure must also not be forgotten. Jackie Pascual, ABS-CBN News.
Excuse me po, sir. Pwede kita may interview?
Sige lang.
Sir, baka may alam ka about e-governance?
Para sa akin, yung e-governance, yung paggamit ng pamahalaan ng ICT para sa mas madaling lapitan, mas tumutugon, mas makamasa, at mas transparent na pamamahala.
Thank you po, sir. Excuse me po, sir. Pwede kita may interview?
Okay lang po, sir.
Sir, baka may alam ka na mga goals about e-governance?
Siguro isa sa goals ng e-governance is yung makapagbigay ng better service sa mga mamamayan. Kasi katulad niyan, 'di ba, sa panahon natin sobrang init, sobrang traffic pa. Mas mapapadali yung buhay ng mga mamamayan pagka yung mga services na ibibigay sa kanila is pwedeng nasa bahay na lang sila, ganyan. And sa tingin ko, maganda yun para sa mga mamamayan. And siguro isa pa is yung nagbibigay ng transparent and accountability na service yung e-governance sa mga tao.
Sir, thank you po. Excuse me po, sir. Excuse me po. Sir, baka pwede kitang may interview about e-governance?
Sige, okay lang po.
Sir, baka meron kayong mga alam na examples?
Ang mga examples ng e-governance ay automated telephones, information services, short messaging system, tsaka online banking.
Sir, sa tingin nyo, bakit ayun yung mga naging examples nyo about e-governance?
Dati kasi, for example, sa bangko, kailangan pa nating pumila, pumunta mismo sa on-site sa bangko para masettle yung mga unpaid bills natin and etc. Pero ngayon kasi nowadays, kahit nasa galaan tayo or nasa bahay lang, we can now access bank account natin through our phones online. So, sa information naman din, di na natin need magtanong-tanong sa iba. We can now access na through our phones and mag-search na lang din sa internet, and may mga information na rin na lilitaw.
Sir, thank you po. Good morning po, ma'am. Pwede kita ma-interview about e-governance?
Yes po.
Ma'am, ba may alam ko yung advantage and disadvantages?
May tatlo ako nalalaman, which is yung transparency, saving costs, then faster system. Yung saving costs, kasi hindi mo na kailangan bumiyahe pa. Makakapag-save siya ng time mo, makakapag-save pa siya sa wallet mo kasi hindi mo na need gumastos. Pangalawa is yung faster system. Since online siya, mas madali ka nakakapag-fill up, hindi mo na kailangan pumila pa. And transparency, kasi since online siya, mas madali mo makikita yung mga accurate information. Yan.
Ma'am, sa disadvantage naman po.
Of course, yung nauuna dyan is internet access, lack of security and privacy, then lack of public awareness. Kaya ko nasabing internet access kasi not all the time okay yung mga internet natin, may mga pagkakataon na mabagal, may mga pagkakataon na mabilis, which is yun yung kailangan para makapag-access ka ng website. Lack of public awareness. Hindi naman lahat kaya makapag-access or hindi naman lahat alam kung paano gagawin kung paano mag-search or kung paano i-fill up yung mga information, especially sa mga matatanda. Lack of security and privacy. May mga hacker na kasi ngayon and may mga pagkakataon na pwede nila makuha yung mga private information natin.
Thank you po, ma'am. Excuse me po, sir. Pwede kitang ma-interview about e-governments?
Pwede naman po.
Sir, baka meron kang mga challenges na alam?
Challenges. Yung una kasi na alam ko is yung privacy and security. So, yung privacy and security nga, sa e-governance, kailangan pagbutihin na kasi kapag na-compromise ang data ng isang tao, pwede tong kumalat, magdulot ng masama sa may-ari nun. Tas dahil nga din doon, nawawala yung trust ng mga tao dun sa sa paggamit nila ng e-governance na mga app. Halimbawa na lang kasi nagsilipanan na rin yung mga scam. Hindi na natin matigil yun. So, nagdududa ang mga tao dun. So, isa rin yung yung low computer literacy ng mga tao, kasi yung ibang mga tao is hindi gamay yung sa computer o yung mga gadget na cellphone na ginagamit natin ngayon. So kung gagawa sila ng transaction, pagkukuha sila halimbawa sa e-governance, magbabayad sila ng bill, magpapa-appointment sila, kailangan pa nila matutunan yun, yung mga website na doon sila gagawa ng appointment, doon sila magbabayad. Kailangan nila matutunan lahat muna yun para hindi ma-compromise yung data nila or hindi magkamali yung mga gagawin nila. Tapos, ano pa ba? Yung digital divide din. Kasi nga, ayun nga, yung sinabi ko kanina, lack of computer literacy. So, yung mga wala pang masyadong alam sa technology, katulad ng mga masyado ng matatanda is taliwas yung nila, yung nakagawian nila, kasi nga hindi sila sanay nun. Kaya mas ginugusto nila yung traditional na paraan, yung pupunta ka dun para magbayad, pupunta ka dun para kumuha ng mga documents mo. Tapos pwede rin yung yung lack ng access ng internet. Kasi pag e-governance, usapang internet yan, di ba? Paano kapag walang internet? Brownout tayo. Halimbawa na lang sa lugar na malayo sa probinsya, walang kuryente. So, ang tanging paraan lang nun, pupunta ka sa pinakamalapit na pagkukuhanan ng mga dokumento para gano'n na nga, maisaayos mo yun. So, ayun lang naisip ko.
Sir, thank you po sa cooperation niya. Thank you.
E-government is crucial in the globalization era, especially for underdeveloped countries, as it provides relevant information, boosts productivity, and improves quality of life. However, it has drawbacks like uneven internet access, inaccurate information, hidden goals, excessive surveillance, and inaccessibility for some groups. Adoption should be carefully considered to ensure the advantages outweigh the disadvantages. Organizations can provide security and monitoring solutions for e-government infrastructure and apps.